You're not sorry, you're never sorry, you never change. The amount of hate I get on my videos for eating is just too much. People are so mean. Every little thing I do, everything. People are trying to bring me down. People are trying to tear me down. People are back me down to the ground.
I know you didn't do it for me. You did it because you understand the enormity of the task that lies ahead.
Why bother with anything? Because the only limit to our realization of tomorrow is our doubts of today.
That what man needs above everything else is purpose and meaning. Man's primary drive is to find meaning in his life.
Life is a journey, and it does not matter how slowly you go, as long as you do not stop. Every challenge is an opportunity.
Stop trying to do everything the short way. Stop trying to figure out the easy way, because the ain't gonna happen. I got news for you, man. It's not happening, young people. You got to get messed up sometime.
Hardships often prepare ordinary people for an extraordinary destiny. You may feel discouraged, but remember, success is not for the chosen few. It's for the few who choose to persist when the path seems difficult.
We don't have a rich father, powerful uncle. We don't get a $1 from bank, 1 cent from government. Just work.
Because you can trade, you should trade. You buy a farm, you buy an apartment house, you can't resell it tomorrow. It costs you.
Strength doesn't come from what you can do. It comes from overcoming the things you once thought you couldn't. The question isn't why bother, it's why not. When you feel like giving up, remember why you started.
I have failed over and over and over again in my life, and that's why I succeed.
Do something you're very passionate about, and don't try to chase what is kind of the hot passion of the day.
The best way to predict the future is to create it. Do not wait. The time will never be just right. You must act now. For the only way to do great work is to love what you do.
I have to want this to exist in the world. I have to not, so it's a similar rule, just say, if this was successful and I had nothing and I was not involved and I got no money off it or would I want it to do well?
There is a scripture, Habakkuk 2:2. It says, write the vision and make it plain, so that he who reads it will run to it. And even though it tarry means take a long time, wait for it, for surely it will come at an appointed time.
Even when the darkness surrounds you, the darkest hour is only 60 minutes.
I'm convinced that the only thing that kept me going was that I loved what I did. You've got to find what you love. And that is as true for work as it is for your lovers.
So, like, for instance, let's say you have no races. Let's say you have no classes, no nothing. There's no purpose in your life. People need to have purpose to get up. They need purpose to perform. You need to get to a point in your life where there's nothing on the docket.
I think it's more of a mental game than a physical game. It's the mind that is much more stronger. And these are the things that you keep teaching the youngsters. Even if they are not a sports person, that if you are able to control your mind.
Always keep in mind, your life does not get better by chance. It gets better by change.
Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life.
You become very, very powerful when you overcome yourself. All those things you once cowered from, you were afraid of, when you face them eye to eye every day, you now become a person.
The idea held by generations of citizens.
If you want to be successful, you have to change this. This has to change.
People say you have to have a lot of passion for what you're doing, and it's totally true. And the reason is because it's so hard that if you don't, any rational person would give up.
Success is not guaranteed by any means, but failure is much more likely if you don't love what you're doing.
If you know exactly what you want to be, you need to spend as much time with people that are actually that already.
What you are dreaming so that it becomes a reality, which is very different than saying, I don't expect anybody to believe it until I see it. You need people to believe it before they can see it.
Think and think and think and make it better and better and better than you ever would if you're doing it for a company. Build things at first for yourself that you would want.
People ask, what mistakes should you avoid making? And You know, my answer to that question is don't even bother trying to avoid mistakes because you're going to make tons of mistakes, right? And the important thing is actually learning quickly from whatever mistakes you make and not giving up.
And you're always one decision away from a completely different life. So why bother? Because it always seems impossible until it's done.